Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bookworm.wander. My name is Barbara and today I want to talk to you about the books I will be reading in September. So for those of you who don't know, there is this magical readathon going on in September, from September 1st until September 30th. That's created by G from Book Roast. And it's absolutely amazing readathon, and when I first saw it I was like mind blown by this world that G created, and I absolutely wanted to join and I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I was like so excited. I planned all the books right away and it was like amazing. So I want to talk to you about the books that I chose for this readathon. I will also link down below the original readathon announcement video at Book Roast, where you can look at it yourself and see if you want to join as well. So actually this is the Orillium Academy that will be the center of the readathon later on as well, because it's a long-term readathon, not only 1 month but long-term as well. And you can see also this is all linked down in the G's video, and there is like a description like of the history, and then also about all the continents. Yeah, here is the map of the world. And then in the end there are also different kind of creatures and like people that live in this world that you can you basically create a character for yourself, and you can choose who you want to be, what your name is, what your background is, and yeah, I will get back to it in the end of the video. For the month of September, actually, this is the most relevant sheet. It's called the Novice Path, and we will embark on a journey to the Orillium Academy in the middle. And here across the journey there are like 7 points at which we have to do something to pass. This something is read a book, and each of these places has a prompt, and then you have to read a book for this prompt. You don't have to read 7 books, your requirement is 2 books to pass, but of course, the crazy person that I am, I don't read that much, or I don't read that fast, so 7 books is quite ambitious for me, but I just want to try it because it sounds like a lot of fun. So I will now go through all of these prompts and what book I chose for them to read. So first we start down here and enter the Novice Path. So it's called the Novice Path Entrance, and the prompt is read a book with a map. For this I'll be reading The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. Look how beautiful this book is, the printed sprayed edges. And this is a book that my boyfriend gave me for last birthday, and I still haven't read it, so this is a perfect opportunity to read this book. And it's also YA, and it's quite short, it's less than 400 pages, so I think it's a perfect book for this prompt. For the second prompt, or second point on our journey, is Ashton Tree. And for Ashton Tree, we have to read a book that keeps tempting you, or top of your TBR. And actually, before I knew about this readathon, I went to a library, and in the library I found a couple books, and actually 3 books that I want to read, so I borrowed them, and luckily all these 3 books fit into this prompts. So one of them is Rich People Problems by Kevin Kwan. This is the 3rd book in the Crazy Rich Asians trilogy. And in the summer I read the first 2 books, and I quite enjoyed them. It's quite addictive for me, like the characters and to read about their lives. So this is definitely gonna be the read for that prompt. The next stop on our journey is The Mist of Solitude. I don't know if you can see it very well, probably not. But you can find all the sheets and the documents on G's video. So The Mist of Solitude, and for Mist of Solitude the prompt is read a standalone, and for this I have another book from the library, Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami. I never read anything by this author, but I keep seeing him everywhere, and it feels like he's quite not controversial, but either you love his writing or you kinda hate it. So I want to see for myself, and I saw this in the library, and like I never see his books in the library, so I just grabbed it and it fits perfectly. So that's the next book. The next point on the journey is Ruin of the Sky. And for Ruin of the Sky, we have to read the book featuring ghosts, haunted house, or other supernatural elements. This one I'm so excited for. The Devil and the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. This book I got for Christmas from my boyfriend because I absolutely couldn't wait to read it. It's now September and I still haven't read it. But I read the first book by Stuart Turton last year, The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hugo, and I loved it. It was my favorite book of 2020. It's like 500 pages, but I devoured it in 3 days, which is the fastest I've ever read such a long book. So this is it just new release. He released it at the end of the last year, so I'm so excited to read this one. But it's a chunky one, but we'll see. I am so excited, so hopefully it's awesome. The next point is Obsidian Falls up here, and for Obsidian Falls we have to read a thriller or a mystery book. For that I picked 9 Perfect Strangers by Leanne Moriarty, and this is an Australian author, and I never read anything from her either, but I saw this book on sale when I was in London 3 years ago, I believe, and I still haven't read it, so I felt like this was a great opportunity to just dive in. So 9 Perfect Strangers. This is also a book that some people love and some people just don't get it. Just too strange, nothing happens. I don't know. I'm curious to see myself. Then we are getting closer to the end of the journey, and the second from the last is Tower of Rumination, and this is read a 5-star prediction. And for this is absolutely perfect. I have another book from the library that I randomly found. I didn't know I was able to find it in the library because I felt like it was such a popular book. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I read only one other book by him, or one fiction book. I read The Humans this month, or in August. My favorite fiction book of 2021. I loved it so much. I just started reading because I was sitting in a car. I didn't have any other book on me, and I was waiting for my boyfriend while he was shopping. And I just started reading it, and 2 pages, and I'm like, okay, whatever I'm reading at the point, like at the time, I'm just putting it away and I'm reading The Humans because I just got completely like consumed by it. So I just read it in like 3 or 4 days, so fast. So I'm so excited to read this book because this is supposed to be his best one. So definitely 5-star prediction. And then the last point of the journey is Orillium Arc. And from this point we already can see the academy, but we don't get to go to the academy, I think, until April next year. I'm not sure, but that's the last point of our novice path journey. And for Orillium Arc, we have to read a book with a school setting. And now for this, I was also thinking about the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, which I'm reading right now, but I'm reading it as when I'm studying Swedish, because I study Swedish, and I listen to the audiobook in Swedish and I read the text. I have my boyfriend's book, which is in Swedish, and I just try to understand as much and read the book in Swedish. So that's more like studying, so I didn't really want to count that as reading a book. So for that I decided in the end to read Felix Ever After, but I don't own that book. I only found it on Script, I think, so I will listen to it as an audiobook. So that's my pick for September. That's all these books. It's a lot of books for me. I have no idea how I'm going to read it. For now, it's like almost 100 pages a day, which is insane for me. But I'm just gonna try, and if I love the books, I'm definitely gonna be able to do it. So we'll see. And so that's for September. There might also be one more book that I will be reading because of Book Babes book club that I have with my friends, and we haven't picked what the book is yet for September. So we will see what it is when we pick it and how. I hope I'll be able to squeeze it in. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And then the second part I wanted to talk to you about was the character creation. That took me the longest because I never can decide on like, then I will be with this character for like a year or something in this readathon, so I really wanted to be careful about who I choose. But in the end I went for, yeah, you can like read about all the people here and like their properties, characteristics and affinities and what they are good with and where they live in what continent and stuff like that. So from that I picked, I would be, let me find it real quick, a half Eltyrian, like that. Maybe I can show it so you can see. Half Eltyrian, who G described them as vegan vampires, and since I'm vegan, that's just perfect. So, Eltyrians, but they naturally live only in their room. Is it Dark Meadow continent? But Dark Meadow is uninhabitable, and they only have cities in the mountains, which is absolutely not for me. Like, I can't, like, I don't like weather without sun. I love sunshine so much. So I decided to mix Eltyrian with an Earthling, and for Earthling you also have to pick which element they can control, if it's fire, air, water, or earth. And me, naturally, I would always say fire, and I also did a test online to see like which element fits me the best, and I got fire, so it has to be fire. So I'm half Eltyrian and half fire Earthling, and I come from the continent of Eartheria here, which is lots of wilderness. Only one small city, I think, but lots of wilderness and lots of wild animals, so that seems like a perfect place for me. And why I'm telling you all this, because each of these properties have a prompt that you need to fulfill by April next year. So my character's name is Doena, and my background is wilding, and for wilding the prompt is, you get a sheet like this with all the prompts, so no worries. And the prompt for wilding is read a book largely set in a forest or outside. And for this book, no better book to choose than, wait for it, I need to pick it, The Overstory by Richard Powers. I ordered this as one of the best books on environment and nature, and then I found out it's actually fiction. And I mean, look at how gorgeous the cover is. Oh my god. Yeah, so that's the book I'm picking for that prompt, and I'm so excited. It's so beautiful. Oh my god, so excited. And then the next thing is province. For province, I chose that I'm from Eartheria, and for Eartheria, the prompt is read a book that features Fae or Elven characters. Now, I don't own many books with Elven or Fae characters. In Game of Thrones, there are no Fae or elves. I have Lord of the Rings, but I wanted to avoid it if possible. So I was thinking if my other fantasy books have any elves or faes. So I have A Darker Shade of Magic. I have Philip Pullman, which I'm pretty sure there are no elves. The Golden Compass universe. There are no elves or fae. I don't have any Sarah J. Maas book. I have City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. So I need to research all these books if any of them have. And I have The Name of the Wind, which I don't know if I can count it as Fae or Elven characters in it. So we'll see. But backup for that is for sure the Fellowship of the Ring. I have this gorgeous edition, and I assume I already read this book, but that was like 15 years ago, and I didn't enjoy it that much, so I would be absolutely open to rereading this. How cute, tiny and pretty, right? But look at the text, it's like so tiny. It's like Bible. So we'll see. This is one of the options that I can go for. And I want to read a book that I own, ideally. If not, I would love to borrow House of Blood and Fire by Sarah J. Maas, because that's supposed to be adult fantasy by her. I'm not a huge fan of her young adult fantasy, so we'll see. And then the last thing for the heritage, you need to read one book for each heritage feature, I would say. So if you are a mix of two, for example, then you need to read 2 books for heritage. One for, in my case, for Iltyrian, and one for Earthling. So for Iltyrian, we have a book with a crow on the cover or title, or a red cover book. Hold your horses. Perfect book for this. Can you guess? Can you guess? Feast of Crows by George R.R. Martin, the 4th book in the series. It's red and it has crows in the title. It doesn't have a crow on the cover, but two of 3. So I feel like this is absolutely perfect book to go for. In this series, I read only, where is it? Here, Game of Thrones, but I read it like 5 years ago, and I don't know, I felt kind of forced to read it, so I don't count that, and in that case I would love to reread it and read all the other ones until now. So that would be, for this prompt, of Iltyrian, these 4 books, but I have until April, so I think that's doable. I wanted to read them anyway at the end of this year and beginning of next one, so we'll see, that's the challenge. So that's for Iltyrian. And then we have Earthling. And for Earthling, read a book with elemental magic or an element word in the book or series title. Now, hey, I was thinking about the Fire and Blood. I was thinking about Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin. But now I'm thinking the series is called The Song of Ice and Fire. So if I read this book, it counts, right? I'm sure it does, because element word in the book of series, of the book or series title. And for me, of course, that's fire, because I'm Fire Earthling. So I think, well, either I'll add this book, depends on how fast I'll be able to read it. Otherwise, I'll just count this and, well, the other 2 as that prompt. So for my character, I'll be reading, right, these, plus Elven or Fae, which might be Lord of the Rings or something else. Let me know if any of the books that I said I own, the fantasy books, if they have any Fae or Elven characters, that you know of. That would be very much appreciated, because I was initially thinking the Name of the Wind, because my friend Diana at The Book Life is pressing me to read it, and I bought it because of her, because she recommended it so strongly. So I was like, that would be a perfect opportunity, and I found there is one Fae character, but then I asked her and she said, I don't remember any. So if you know if there are any Elven or Fae characters in Name of the Wind, this book, then please let me know. That would be very appreciated. And yeah, that's all the books I'm planning to read for this readathon for now. Yeah, so to recap, my September TBR. What do you think? Can I make it? Can I make it? Let me know. So that's that for now. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you will be joining, and maybe we can become friends on Discord, because that's the discussion forum for this readathon. And yeah, that would be absolutely amazing to share this with someone closer I know. So let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!